Welcome to the What Happens Next YouTube channel. What we're aiming to do with this channel is share content designed to make sure that you're supported through whatever's next in your life. And we'd love to continue to do that. I've got a favour to ask today, and what I'd ask you to do is just subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it really helps us deliver really good quality content on a consistent basis. Thank you, and let's go on to the interview. What are your top tips on managing change, though? Because you've done those changes at various times. What would be the things that you'd... And by the way, I love the pros and cons things. It's really weird. I said this to a new client yesterday. Naturally, like me as a human, I'm an optimist, right? I think everything's going to work out for the best. Professionally, I've got to be a pragmatist and sometimes a pessimist. And actually, that sounds like, well, why are we thinking about the worst case scenario? Because if the worst case scenario isn't that bad, we can do what we want. And actually, being a pessimist allows you to plan better, as you say, for those things. But managing change both emotionally and financially, what are your top tips on making sure you manage change in a way that works for you?
Yes, I think it's been that kind of planning ahead, clearly, in terms of understanding those pros and cons. But also, I think the big thing for us has been, my wife and I have been a complete partnership over this. And I say I'm definitely much more of the risk-taking optimist, and my wife's a bit like, So I remember when I first told my boss in Hong Kong that we're leaving and we're going to stop work. And the first question she asked was, how did you convince your wife to do this? And I was like, well, I've been talking about it for like 2 years. And when I first mentioned it to my wife, she was like, no, that's a stupid idea. No one else does that. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. But then I kept going, well, what's your concerns, etc. And then, so she helped me get to that bit. So I think it's about and I think it's that managing change means managing not just yourself, but managing who's going to be impacted.
The relationship, who's come with you along the way.
And give them those different views about, what about if one of us doesn't like it? And then we're like, right, we have to decide that now. We don't want to be there and try to decide that. We're like, right, so we'll do it for 3 years. And if one of us doesn't like it, that's it, we're coming back. Kind of bit. So it's a lot about that plan, but it's just about the mindset was the big bit about the change. It's like, why are we doing this? And just getting excited about it, like going,
this is an adventure, right?
It's going to be an adventure, and I say it's only going to be potentially only a small part of our lives. We're like, got whatever 100 years, even if we do it for 3 years. What's that? 3 years out of our lives, but it could be a catalyst for that. So we always went with, right, we're going to plan, but we want to go with a really positive mindset and again, seek others. But a really interesting thing was that when we spoke to other people about it, so I remember talking to my parents, and my parents were like, why are you doing this? Like, you've got everything good. Like, we'd love to have been in your position when we're in the UK. Why are you changing? And so there was a bit of resistance, and even our friends were a little bit cautious about why you're changing. And so we had to sort of put that to a side and think about what's best for us and not for them. And now my parents are like, we tell them about our lifestyle. They're like, oh, it's amazing. They're trying to get my sister to do something similar. So it's much more about mindset and that. And so
it's an interesting one, isn't it?